So they didn't get they unfortunately didn't get as much like training and stuff as uh, a lot of the NA teams who were fighting each other in the queue for hundreds of matches were getting. So when the rewards teams at Oceanic dried up and they came over to NA, I believe overnight they lost almost 200 elo. And they went from top 12 to and they got knocked really hard out of it. But it looks like this year they came back swinging, and here they are back in top 12 again, where they belong. One of the consistently better teams in MWO. They've mainly went between Div B and Div C and just kind of floated between those two divs for all since I've started playing. MEU, ME, new team started at the beginning of the year. Now there are two teams. Their main team is NA mainly, I believe, and the B team's EU. Someone would have to confirm that for me.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out what the servers are for these teams. So far we have Mining Collective selected as the first map. The Mining Collective, and then they're going on to Vitric Station as the second.
Vitric, surprisingly popular choice.
Yeah, I'm not exactly a fan of the map. I don't like how it plays out personally, but a lot of teams don't seem to like Polar Highlands and Crimson Strait, so and we're going on to Hibernal as a third map here, so they definitely are, picking the maps that are more popular earlier. Polar Highlands is the fourth, so we might see that one. So far, we have not seen Polar Highlands today, and none of these have gone to the fifth map today either. So. And the last one, of course, then is going to be Crimson Strait. Teams are picking their sides right now. Team 1 is going to be CXF on Mining Collective. Did they pick that? I thought it was Team 2 advantage there. Was I not? Maybe I'm misremembering. Vitric Station, again, it's going to be CXF Team 1.
On Vitric, I don't think there is a...
Yeah, Vitric doesn't have a obvious Team 1, Team 2. It's not quite symmetrical, but...
I was going to say, that's why I like Polar. Both teams start out in Zimbabwe, and while it's not a mirror of each side, it's a relatively balanced map. Like, both sides have a giant wasteland, and then the few major landmarks on the map aren't like favored to one side or the other. Like Pride Rock, where Gamma is.
I actually think Gamma is very much favored for Team 2 on Polar.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're starting things off on Mining Collective with CXF being Team 1.
All right, so first one is Mining, right?
Yeah, so we're going to start on Mining Collective. I think that we're going to be on Oceanic servers. I don't know if someone can confirm that.
Are they Team 1?
Yeah, right? Team 1 is CXF, and they are an Oceanic team.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they get it goes Oceanic, NA, Oceanic, NA, and then Oceanic.
Okay. I just got to remember to switch that around.
Yeah. Because this MEU team are registered as both NA and EU, so I have to double check.
Yeah.
What official
NA servers in EU time zone, I think. Well, at least if it's the same order as our team, and so it should be the same.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. But I'm just we'll double check.
All right, Team 1's on the clock now, and we have the map strat up on the screen.
Yeah.
Going up on the stream here for anyone who wants to.
Yeah, this whole server is NA. Confirmed.
So we got the map strat here for Mining Collective. If anyone wants to run that down.
Yeah. All right. So, I didn't introduce the panel. Okay, for this match, our panel of experts will be Direwolf Singh, one of the members of ME. We got Ghosty again. Been here since we started today. Been great. And then we also have Aldous from Gussie, who's also making an appearance with his very thick Russian accent. I dig it. I don't know about everyone else, but I definitely
Yep, yep.
dig it.
I hope it's not so bad.
Well, it's
You're
coming
not
through
worse
all
than
right.
Saiso. If anyone knows who Saiso is, he has a deep Russian accent. Ooh. Gives
All
you
right,
the
so
chills.
Mining Collective, I've got the map strat up for anyone who wants to take a look at it here. Let's talk about the map quick for these teams. High ground positions are key on this map. If you're going to brawl, you need to bring jump jets, and kind of a few different areas that we could talk about here. Theta is heavily favored to the Team 2 side, which is why I'm surprised that CXF selected the Team 1 side. That was their choice. Might have been a misclick. I have no idea. That's something that only they would be able to tell us. Maybe they've got a special strat that they're pulling out. But the Theta cap here in the center, it's the key point of the map in terms of cap control. And there's a wall on the backside facing Team 1, which prevents shots onto Theta, whereas Team 2, there's gaps in that wall. They can shoot onto Theta to try and deny it from being taken. Other than that, if you're doing range, you go into high ground locations to trade. If you're doing brawl, you need to be able to get up into the high grounds to trade. The corner keystone of the map, likely this Echo 4 high ground, Citadel, let's say the name is, and then if you put range up here, it's a good trade position, and if you're brawling, you absolutely have to go and drive their range off in order to unlock movement into other areas of the map. So expect it to be contested by both teams, unless if they're running something a little bit different or spicy or special. This back line over here in Echo 6, because you have access to seeing Theta, you can park a mech up in the dark up there with ECM, make it practically invisible and very difficult to trade against. It's an older strat. I haven't seen it in a while. It does exist. Both teams are going to be aware it exists, but somewhat unlikely to make an appearance.
Yeah, so Dyer, since you're the new addition to this panel, is there anything special you expect here?
Realistically, considering I've played both of these teams, I definitely expect a little bit more of a higher tempo game. Probably going to look a little bit closer towards some push farm decks coming from both teams. One place you did forget to talk about here is going to be the Delta 4 area right here.
Oh
If you
yeah,
have
alleyways.
alleyways. Like if you have a fire starter with light peeps, small lasers, or something of the sort, a Phoenix Hawk, they're gonna absolutely terrorize anything that's on Theta and be able to somewhat contest the Echo 4 location.
Yeah. I will say one thing. I'm calling it right now. CXF is pushing. They're locking in like Charlie Alpha 8-man stack. Nothing in Bravo. And this is probably the map where lances are the most important. So yeah, they have like nothing on this top part of the map.
Yeah. And the fact that they selected the Team 1 side, despite it being disadvantaged, even the stats from ComQ are showing that. That tells me they've got a strat, and I don't see it as a range strat because you don't have that Theta control. The wall's in the way. So it has to be a push, right? Unless you've got something special spicy, but that would tell me something's going on. We have a lock from Team 2, so I'm going to go ahead over to switch onto that screen, and we're going to get started.
It should be a good one either way.
Oh yeah, this is 8th seed versus 9th seed is what I've been told here. So
super close.
Both these teams should
not
be.
only are they...
The one thing is I don't know if they've had the opportunity to play each other in ComQ because the European time zone versus the Oceanic time zones or North American time zones versus Oceanic time zones. There's a possibility that the Oceanic team hasn't been able to face some of these top teams. Both teams have played a fair number of games in ComQ, but there's a chance they have not played each other in ComQ.
CXF has been playing late in A time, catching the last hurrah. The teams who play post midnight.
Okay, so probably not when Mech Enjoyers Union has been playing.
Yeah.
So this could be their first matchup of the championship series. I'm looking at. Go ahead.
Okay. Red Panda, Shadowcat, MI. We got a Mislinks, Viper, and Executioner. I'm on MEU, by the way. They seem to also have a few traders here. Metcat 1, Gauss lasers. They got Night Gear, Heavy Gauss, ER lasers. Definitely tradey on this side. Yeah, even the Crusaders ERs are ER peeps.
So, looking at Mech and Joy unions, the Mistlinks is actually SRM6. Now, there's an early fight here around Theta. Mistlinks went in to go check it. Compulsive Flag Eater pops a UAV and backs out. Executioner was getting a scouting location from that talked about dark spot. I don't think they're going to stay out there. They don't have extreme range. They've got large pulse, and they don't have ECM either, which would make staying up there a little bit hazardous. We're seeing trade out of the Night Gear Mad Cat combo, setting up in smokestacks. And action is going to be on Crossfire right now to make something happen. They brought a Night Gear with AC-10 ERPPC mid-range build up onto Theta, trying to close that gap.
Crossfire's idea is to turn this into a north-south fight. They're already crossing over to the ME side.
Yeah,
and
this Echo 4 high ground has been taken by them. So they're kind of closing the range. They brought range trade mixed with mid-range. ERPPC 3 times on that Executioner. That's a hot trade build, not a mid-range push build. Hunchback, LPL, ERME, that's also a fairly hot trader. And so they're going to have to get those angles here because they are currently down on caps.
Like, good try hanging out here near the center.
Both the Mistlinks are running the SRM build, so they have not gone with a standard, more meta machine gun and small laser build. Good tries taking a peek here, taking return damage. Not bad.
Well, he didn't get his shot off, but he did take almost 8%.
Yeah, and Shadowcat was also peeking there, Red Panda, and took a fair bit of damage. Arms are open on that Shadowcat. Shadowcat, the arms have some weaponry, so that's something that does matter, taking those arm damage. This is a push here. CXF stacking up. They're going to be pushing. Are they... I mean, this has been spotted. Red Panda's got excellent angle here to see everyone coming, warning the team what's headed their way. Shadowcat's lost an arm, taking significant damage, 66%, open in the rear. But this push is coming in right here, right now. And the trade elements, one of them has been left behind. That is that Mad Cat standing out in the open up top, but they are outside of optimal range. Will not be able to fully participate.
CXF, they have the HP advantage right now. Squeeze just took some damage that Crusader did. Yeah, IMI definitely they're ready to receive. The lights and stuff are doing their trades.
This push is stalled.
CXF, yes, that's what I was gonna say. The push is stalled, but it looks like they're trying something else because they are shifting again.
They're grabbing a third cap right now, so they've applied pressure and grabbed a cap here. So they do have the 3 cap, and they faked the push and grabbed the cap essentially. But now Red Panda, that Mistlinks just lost something, sorry, Shadowcat lost his side torso.
Me is pushing now. Rathorn, the Hunchback's about to get picked off. He is getting dove.
So there's a weakness spotted here. The cap, when they went for the cap, a couple mechs got isolated, and percentages are very low on Mech and Jor's Union, but they have gotten the first kill of this drop.
Squeeb's Crusader is Cord CT. If CXF or if ME here can get some good focus fire and get another kill or two in the next 20 seconds.
Executioner has a lot of armor there. Blue Devil Spawn leading the push. Lousy 10 getting a little bit isolated in that Phoenix Hawk.
They got the second kill, but CXF still
Mech and Jor's Union had to pull out of this push as they were walking into the Overwatch. Now they're pushing back down off the ramp into the open again, where that range Overwatch from that Mad Cat is going to have the angle. This is a kill box, and the numbers are not looking favorable to continue this push. Percentages are way too low. Captain Cat in that Firestarter looks like an overheat, but their percentages are still quite high. Nobody's able to take advantage of that.
Pulsive Eater in that SR Mistlink's doing God's work here.
Oh, yeah.
With all these injured mechs here in the center, he just went in and just ate everybody.
So it's all about that Overwatch mech. I'm looking to see what that damage is. The counter push basically walked into a kill box, and percentages were already so low, but they needed to make a play. They were down on caps, so Clan Crossfire, making that cap play or faking the push, pulling the cap play, it looked incredibly risky, but in the end, Nico Doomguard open center torso in that Mad Cat 64%. They were just standing on top, drawing immense amounts of aggro from the opposing ranged traders, but probably managed to farm up some good damage. Let's take a look at that. You know what? 650, not even as high as I was thinking it might be.
Yeah, the Mech Cat. Look at the damage numbers here. Yeah, Compulsive Clag Eater that mislinks. 4 kills, man. Well done. He basically touched their whole team.
All right, so that is a first round win here, or first drop win here for Clan Crossfire. And I've got the damage stats on the screen. Everyone can take a quick look at it. Maybe you want to pause the stream, come back to it later on. But Taiwanese Rice Farm in the Night Gear was 650, leading the team for Mech Enjoyers Union. The rest of the team, nobody's cracked 400 there. So just need a little bit more damage, maybe a little bit more focus fire as well. And by the time they pushed, percentages were incredibly low. On the opposing side, it was the Night Gear from Pete Zones with that AC-10 ERPPC build playing the mid-range, and the Mad Cat with a long range, putting up 700 and 650 each. Executioner from Yorshka has 500 damage as well. Impulsive Clag Eater, 4 kills and 450 damage, quite respectable there. A little bit of a bait and switch with the push and not push, and I don't know. I mean, the Hunchback being sacrificed there, probably a mistake, so I don't know if it was an intentional bait and push, but it did work out that way. I'm going to pop up the map strat for anyone who wants to go through that.
Yeah, get our panel expert in on this one. What do you guys think?
Can I say?
CXF had a really good idea there with just pushing down the south side, and essentially, if you notice, like at the very beginning of the game, they essentially put MAU into this small 25% of the map. Like they were essentially just right here for a good majority of that game, where they had all the way from Kappa down to Epsilon. What MEU did to actually start securing the kills was the right call. I think they just made it way too late there, because by that time they were already down on health and they needed to make that push a lot sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
I think there's like the way that MEU kind of failed this job was like way earlier. It's if they have nothing in Bravo, like they're either running a push down the Gamma Epsi line, like pushing like this, in which case you want to be up here defending, like receiving it, or they're trying to do exactly what CXF just did, and then you want to take control of Kappa. So your idea basically out of spawn should be, let's take control of Cupcakes here. And MEU just kind of got comfortable sitting on Sigma. Well, yes, they're going to push us. And it ended with CXF having Epsi, Gamma, and Kappa. And then you're suddenly 3-1 cap, and you have to push into what is essentially a CXF receive.
Yeah, that's a fair point. CXF, a lot of their builds were set up as receive. They weren't really dedicated to push. Like the Hunchback 2CA is not something you take in a push deck. Same with like that Mad Cat sitting all the way back was never going to join the push.
Okay, sorry guys. I just wanted to say simple things because it's difficult for me to quickly formulate thoughts. Such aggressive play for MWO was unexpected for me because they were already holding the Theta, but for some reason they began to go closer to the enemy, and then for some reason they began to trade with the enemy on the Delta 4. Instead of letting them to go to the kill box in Delta 5. And well, they make counter push in the opposite direction. It's not was justified in my opinion, because well, they already take the Zeta, they have a better position, and they just would wait and let enemy to calm themselves. I think if you're lucky enough to make dominant heights, you need to hold them and not try to run into the kill box yourself. That's all.
Yeah. I will say, watching CXF move was like watching water being poured. You know what I mean? They had that line here, and it looked like they were set up for a north-south thing, and then all but the Mech Captain just rotated like this, right? They all regrouped, like pouring water out of a bucket, and then they were all here, ready to you know tell them to come at me, bro. Right? I thought it was gorgeous coordination from a team leader's perspective.
Yeah, no, CXF literally just their idea of what they wanted to do was just perform perfectly. Can't The only thing you can ask is for them not to die, but they died when they needed.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
this is like mining, in my opinion, is the like most in the moment decision based map that we have in the pool, where you kind of can't go in with a game plan and then play your match based of that. You have to make
Yeah.
decisions at every point, and we can see that in these lower brackets with some
100%.
newer teams to the top 12. Teams that
Yeah.
have been here multiple years, they just have more experience so far.
I agree 100%. Mining's one of those maps where, you can have a general game plan of where everyone's like heading to for like the first minute, but after that, the match evolves the way it's going to evolve. Right, your opponent's going to do what it's going to do, and you have to constantly be adjusting, because otherwise, you'll get boxed in and then surrounded. Because if you don't move and keep, map control and pressure, your opponent will. And next thing you know, all your mechs are bleeding armor because they're getting shot at from 2 different directions. Now, while we still have a minute, because we're still waiting on Team 2 to ready up, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit on Victric here while we have the map up.
We see a third Mario jump.
I definitely think Victric is not as symmetrical as some people might think it is.
The center third is symmetrical, but the top third and bottom third are pretty wildly different.
I think someone pointed out that actually the center third isn't symmetrical either. One of the lanes is a little wider for pushing than the other, and that makes a difference when you're trying to stack mechs up. You don't want to be single fire. You want to be 2 abreast, maybe even 2.5 abreast. And on the one side you can do that, the other side you can't.
It's also really going to depend on what each team decides to do, because teams can push on it. They can do a cap strat. They can do, exactly what CXF did on mining. Very similar thing like that on this map. It all really just depends on what comes down and who takes Theta. Because Theta's a really, really rough decision to take. You're either going to have to get it at the very beginning or go kill the enemy team first.
Yeah, basically.
Oh no, Ghosty, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Theta is like one of those. It's contested, but you can still sneak it in the middle of the match. If you get a full cap on Theta, it's really hard. But if it's not capped by either team, it's totally doable.
We used to see a rush for Theta to start things off, but that seems to have fallen out of favor. Both teams are locked up. I'm going to be switching the screens over and getting this kicked off.
Yeah, the rush to Theta started getting countered, so we see it less now.
All right. It's been a good series of games, Theric.
Yeah, we still haven't seen all of the maps played yet. I'm still waiting to see a Polar Highlands. Maybe we'll get it here.
We better.
In order to see Polar Highlands, Mech and Joy's unions will have to win a drop. Just one drop. It's not that hard. They can do it.
They absolutely can do it. They earned their spot. I saw in the last week of Comp Q, they put their nose to the grindstone, and it paid off for them. The stuff that DPS has done in the previous years. So I know the commitment it takes to do that, especially on the last day.
All right, I'm looking at Mech Union coming in here, playing in the red, and I'm going to grab some builds. Marauder 2C with Hag Laser Vomit hybrid build, a Highlander with LBX-20, 3 large pulse, and SRM-6. So that is a hybrid brawl build. Shadowcat mid-range vomit as expected. Madcat Mark II with 2 Hag 30s, 2 large pulse. That is a push build, and then a Crusader with Snubnose PPC and red laser. Also looking to get a little bit up in brawly. Arctic Wolf Prime, the Prime has jump jets, so they can jump up with that if necessary, or can bring jump jets as
I'm
an
going to
Omni
interrupt
Mech.
you for a second. Clan Crossfire brought all the SRMs.
Okay, but they have jump jets. They have that Assassin 23. They've got the Hellspawn 8P, not the hero. So 5 SRMs on that. It has a set of 8 quirks, so it can fire that without Ghost Heat. Assassin 23 with 3 SRM 6 Artemis. I'm assuming there's a lot of jump jets on that. Mislinks SRMs, also jump jets. Crusader, 13 small pulse on the Crusader. Did not bring anything other than red lasers. Summoner SRMs has jump jets, 5 jump jets on that. I don't know if that's enough to jump up, but positioning low ground, I'm assuming it can. And here we go. The Mario play is in action. We've got a low ground brawl to start things off, and that might delay the jump up action here.
Dubious might not get out. I don't think he's getting out of this alive.
Legs look okay so far on that Mislinks, 68%. Nothing's open. It turns back into the fight. Is getting leg now. The Viper's staying on them, and the Mario has begun. Madcat has been turned around.
No there.
Oh, this is not coordinated. Nope. Madcat dropped.
So confusing.
The Madcat dropped.
Spirit Bear is taking on the Highlander and Marauder 2C alone.
Kodiak rear torso. Rear torso halved.
Gonna get in there.
Taiwanese rice farmer's been spotted. There's a Hellspawn. Is the assassin coming over? Yes, it's about to get legged there. This is looking chaotic, but I think in favor of Clan Crossfire. Kills are just about even. Damage percentages are maybe favoring Mech Union at the moment, but I like the positioning of Clan Crossfire more.
If they can pull sweeps here, this is going to swing really hard back into Mi's favor.
All of the big mechs are dead already. It's just a light mech skirmish, and Lousy 10's trying to get back up with the assassin. They've got the jump jets. They should be able to make that jump. But it's Compulsive Clag Eater left alone. Now it's Lousy 10 coming in 1v3. This is not well coordinated. Oh, no. No, that is not what you want to be doing. Just as the Mislinks drops, they start showing up single file, one at a time, and Clan Crossfire is taking a beating here.
Are they going to stay on this assassin here?
Okay, Crusader's open center torso, but that needs to go down. Arctic Prime is about to go down. Arctic Wolf Prime is legged. And that leaves just Good Try in that Viper. One of my former teammates in a legged Viper here is not going to be able to carry this. So this has gone the way of Clan Crossfire. I started to doubt there when they were single filing up that ramp, but they do pull it out.
I thought for sure this was about to turn around when they single filed up the ramp, but they just did not finish off that assassin quick enough. That assassin got away legged, got to jump back down, and then rejoin the fight after now with the Crusader tanking for it. And I think if they could have took out the fire starter, they could have they would have been alive longer to finish off that the Crusader before the other mechs got into the fight too. That was real close. Darn it! I was really polar this time.
Well, we still have a chance. It's only 2 match drop wins so far for CXF, so Mech Union does need to pick up a win on the next drop in order to force some more drops coming up. I'm going to pop up the map strat here for you guys to talk about as we are moving on to Hibernal Rift next.
I am going to point out, shout out to Shadow Ace in an Arctic Wolf Prime, 639 damage. Didn't get any kills, but that was a lot of damage he threw out with that thing. Well done. That was a 40-ton mech. Alright, to the map room.
Oh.
I think MWO did the perfect, almost perfect counter to the Mario jump, which is go to the ramps in the middle and play the push receive kind of in reverse. And it really just ended due to 2 things, which is 1, the Madcat dropping by accident, which really hurts you, and then at the end the Shadowcat overheated. And I think because of those two things, it ends with 4 mechs like one touch and losing instead of 2 of your mechs alive and winning.
Yeah, because especially if your whole idea is to go right over the top and maintain the top, you cannot drop for any. You need to die on those ramps on the top. But I think honestly, the match was set and done way before that. MEU scouted out the low ground push, the Mario hop. Dubs getting sold right there and going back to the fight, I think lost it right then and I think he just needed to run and get to his team as quickly as he can.
Yeah, he needed to regroup instead of trying to take out 6 mechs solo. 100%.
You can't.
I mean, anyone that chases him isn't doing the Mario jump, and then that throws the timing off on the ramp push, which then can just, cascade into a failure. Even just one mech chasing the mistlings would be of value.
Doesn't really, since the timing on the ramp push is literally your light mechs telling you, hey, we're jumping up, and then you just send it. If you're too early and your light mechs are telling you, hey, we're chasing this mistlings down here, you're just going to sit on the ramp and wait for like 10 seconds.
We were talking about players coordinating perfectly earlier, and the discussion was that it doesn't happen even at the highest levels. So, yes, it should be an easy coordination, but I've seen so many of these light mech jump ups where they're going in single file or they're failing their jumps. So it does add another element of something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't have though. Who really knows? Fortunately, we didn't get to see it.
I will say, the amount of SRMs was real nice to see. Very KDCM-ish of them. Like throwback KDCM.
Right, when Jay left.
Yeah. I mean, if you're starting to see the meta become more and more again, straight push, because considering a lot of times how small these maps can be, like Vitric is incredibly small, and if you have mechs that are fast enough and can make that jump, you just take SRMs and go eat those mechs' legs off. Especially if they're bigs there, there's a lot of DPS and armor off the field right there.
I'm going to throw you over to Hibernal Rift, as that is the next map coming up, if you want to etch a sketch someone there.
So, my question is who are we considering the king of the ship? Because I've seen about 3 teams now die there.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a spot to be in, but...
No, Dyer's right.
Yeah.
We've watched 3 matches today alone where teams died on the ship, even though everyone knows it's not a good place to be.
Yeah, the push paths just seem to keep going through that, or the retreat path is what happened in the 5JDX versus GNX. It was a retreat path through the dropship, and a couple mechs got caught in there.
So, whenever you're kind of talking about power positions here, one of the first ones you have to talk about here is Volcano. Volcano is really nice for your stalkers and your annihilators, even some of your mad cats. Because they have such a great line down through Epsilon all the way over towards where Team 1 would have a trader somewhere around here. Also, Charlie 3, you have this whole area to play as well, depending on your mech. I personally love taking a Shadow Cat there to the Charlie 3 hill right here. And it allows you just to apply all sorts of pressure. Again, another thing about this map is Theta. You can really only shoot Theta between 2 holes. It's going to be on the Charlie 3, Charlie 4, and Delta 3, Delta 4. You can't really shoot it from near the Kappa side or the Epsilon side.
No, basically, there's like a big mountain here and a big mountain here.
One other thing is the ridge right here from like Delta 4, Charlie 4. Is if a team is competent enough to push it, they will use that ridge line to their advantage to kind of shrug damage into the terrain. But it can also be like your biggest downfall is if a team goes down into this valley here in the Delta 4 area, the other team just has to pop tart on that ridge and just eat you.
Yeah. It tends to be really important to take like this, which is called spine. To take spine. Draw that in a little bit, like more artistically, and I've by now come to the conclusion that it's mainly because you end up having an easier time controlling Sigma and Gamma. So it ends up leaving you with almost a guaranteed 3 cap if you manage to take spine and push the enemy team completely off of it. Whereas if you go for Kappa side and you get complete control of Kappa side, you're gonna lose Sigma and Gamma, and the team that went FC side is gonna take it. So we see a lot of teams fight for the FC side, and simply because giving it up completely is like very often almost a guaranteed loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also one other push route, very common to like Hibernal's Canyon, where you just take this low ground here, and then you can time a jump. You can time a push here. Take your assaults right through the spine, and then take your lights, jump right over in Delta 4, and essentially crush.
Yeah.
And just pincer them. So.
Right.
Yeah. There's also the
T2 just locked.
Okay.
Alright, swap back.
We're going to switch over and get that started then. Kicking off the third drop of the third match of the day, and Mech and Jory's Unions needs to get a win here to keep the match going, and for us to see Polar Highlands, which is the map we have not seen yet today. So if Mech and Jory's Unions can force a win here, we will get to see the fifth map played. Be interesting to see it. I'm looking forward to whatever they bring out here on Hibernal.
All right, I'm looking here at CXF's next already. Pull up my ruh-roh. That was weird.
Oh, teams are
Execution,
ready to kick off.
PPC, Night Gear, AC-10 peeps. What we got over there?
So
Rancor.
two ERPPC, two AC-10, so that is different yet. Yet another build in that.
Okay, Necro is moving. I thought we had a disco for a moment. That's a Mad Cat, Gauss Lasers, very classic.
Vulcan has 2 ER large out of Captain Cat.
Branthor made a play for Theta, ate some damage, pulled back. Looks like Good Tries might be trying the same.
Yeah, that's just one mech looking at Theta. It's not a free. I expect that they're just going to back off. Wait for some backup here. Mistlinks bringing SRMs on both sides. Got Shadowcat here out of Red Panda trying to get a build. It is mid-range, a laser vomit with machine gun backup. Epsilon, there's a bit of a play at it right now. This looks like a mix of mid-range and long-range for both teams. I'm not seeing dedicated brawl pushes here from either of them. The Warhammer 2C Maul is running LPL and Hag 30, so that is a mid-range push build. What we've got is the Mad Cat here behind Epsilon, so they're definitely looking at trying to use this long sight line around the Epsilon cap with that dual Gauss ear large, trading against, I believe that was 6. Was that Bloodhouse 6 ear large, or was that? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So that is an extreme range, long range trade there from Bucket Hill, and then this position behind the Epsilon cap, and then also the Rancor Blood Asp is coming in.
Necro is getting heavy pressured. He's
Yeah.
he's lost all his cover, and they're about to finish him off.
Oh,
Ooh, what happened to Grill there?
Was that a push?
He was.
I got cored out.
Oh, Grill got
went around the corner. Okay, Neilgard is getting dove here, so it's a trade of 1-for-1 so far. But the percentages, I mean, I'm looking at a low percentage here on Marauder 2C for Mech and Jory's Union, which is about to lose its side torso here. Captain Cat coming in with those machine guns on that ear large Vulcan, taking the half.
Executioner is about to go down, but or actually take that back. No, he has a lot of his armor.
50%, but is halved from rear or potentially heat. I think rear. We have a little skirmish here. The Blood Asp is not firing on the main fight. They've been halved by the Mistlinks, which is dueling them out. Should be. I expect there's no backups on that Blood Asp. Sometimes you see the small pulse in the arms. In that case, they do not. So they've been taken out by that Mistlinks getting underneath their minimum range. Dubious Squirrel looks legged in their Viper. But we've got a mech trap down in the pit. Pete Zone's moved up with the AC-10 ERBBC. They're open center torso in that Night Gear Jade Kite.
Here we go. Compulsive is coming into the fight. He's going to clean everything up like the last drop.
Yeah, this looks Clan Crossfire, the percentages are low. There's a chance, but I do believe the Crusaders already open everywhere. Then leg goes down. So it's up to
it's
Good Try in the
2v5.
Phoenix Hawk and Red Panda in that relatively healthy Shadowcat, who just jumped into the center of everyone, though, and has taken some rear damage. Good Try, both legs are open on their Phoenix Hawk, so I don't think they can carry this, but I mean,
Impulsive, he
maybe.
just needs to get one more shot in the back
Yeah,
of that
Blood Asp is rotating.
Shadowcat. Oh,
Blood
he
Asp
got
is
the try.
rotating to
Can
get
he
join
get
the
the
fight.
Shadowcat? Shadowcat. No. Oh, I thought he
Squeebs
was gonna
picking
get
up
the
that final
Shadowcat.
kill.
Yeah, Squeebs stole the kill. Where you are? Squeebs? Shame. Oh, good fight, MWO.
Yeah, it was a good fight. But ultimately, CXF does pick up the win here, and with that
CXF
drop win,
showing
they
that
pick
they
up the
still
match
got
win.
gusto in them.
Still no Polar Highlands for us.
I know. I'm getting angry. About to rage. I quit. All right. Well, while you go after you do the score, then we'll swap over the map.
Yeah, I'm just going to run through the damages real quick here and take a look. Relatively even on both teams. No standouts either. Heads and tails above or below. Acerg's got 530 leading Mech and Jor's Union. Red Panda in the Shadowcat with 500. Good Try in the Phoenix Hawk with 500. Blood Asp, Taiwanese Rice Farmer. They got Dove, but before they got Dove, they put out 550. And over on CXF, they are being led in terms of damage by Compulsive Clag Eater in that SRM Mistlings, putting out over 500 damage. That's a 25-ton mech leading the way in terms of damage here for the team. So very well played. Number of players sitting at 450 with Squeebs, 400, and 70 Pete Zone. Captain Cat's got 400, Lousy Tan's got 450. So a lot of players over 400 damage there for Crossfire. Ultimately kind of carried the day there, I suppose. The damage total would add up to be slightly higher on the CXF side, and then also maybe a little bit better focus fire in terms of destroying components. Do you want to go through the map strats yet? Got a couple experts here who will maybe want to run through what we just saw.
Yeah.
Ouch. So I know what MEU wanted there. They poorly executed it. They basically saw the amount of mechs like near that Charlie 4, especially where that Madcat Mark II was. They really wanted to just kind of swing towards that right side and give everything they can and just push and kill. Did that happen? No. Like, the Warhammer went down almost immediately, while the lights went off to go finish off that Marauder 2, the Warhammer 2C, and then the Marauder 2C from MEU went down shortly after. And again, just playing this spine really, really well, CXF just executed 20 times better. It's almost like they've been...
That Warhammer died so fast. I looked at him, he was at like 97%, and then I saw in the corner of my eye him drop to like 80%, 66%, and then red, 53% dead. It's like, what? I mean, it all happened in just a couple seconds.
It's a mech with a big CT, and it was walking out alone against the firing line.
Yeah.
It's kind of what happens.
There was like 6 or 7 mechs looking at him at that time.
Yeah.
Well, in fact, the MEO got better angles with this maneuver along the edge of the map, and at some point had advantage in mechs since part of Crossfire team was on the TET, but they lost too much armor on the way. This Warhammer was sold too cheap.
Yeah, it should never push in first because it's a fragile mech with a lot of firepower, and in general you'd want things like the Marauder 2C, which kind of shoots twice before it dies, or like it shoots twice and it can do that before it dies no matter what happens, and after that it's heat capped anyways, whereas like the Warhammer 2C dying really impacts your damage output as a team.
So I guess one thing I'm going to point out here, that I found a little bit different than what I've seen some other teams do is that Charlie 5 mech. They should put that that Mad Cat Mark II behind the Epsilon cap. There's a little piece of cover. They stuck the mech in there. That gives excellent sight lines down this entire Epsilon corridor. And the other big thing is that there's been a 2v1 trade situation against the mech who is trying to sit in the for Team 1 over in the Delta 5 Bucket Hill location. There's 2 mechs firing on it, and they're getting traded 2v1. Their mechs are not really able to support if the Epsilon mech plays the angle correctly on the corner. The mechs in Delta 4 aren't going to be able to shoot back. So that 2v1 trade kind of set up the whole thing where CXF took a lot of damage on one of their mechs, and they felt the need to make that Epsilon push, I do believe. They didn't really have builds that told me they wanted to make that dedicated push around the Epsilon corner. I think that 2v1 situation, that trade, and that Mad Cat, it's a spot that you occasionally see in competitive, but not very frequently. And with the advent of this new trade position on Hibernal with the Night Gear taking that near Sigma spawn location, I don't know if teams have necessarily prepared for that Mad Cat behind Epsilon.
Yeah, to extrapolate to what you said, actually, now that you say it, I think that's actually what got the Warhammer killed. That Mad Cat got pinned behind this rock. At first, these two had this guy dead to rights. Those mechs came up this line and just denied this Mad Cat cover. He like hugged the only place he could behind this rock. I thought for sure he was going to be dead, and that's when the Warhammer died. Pretty sure Warhammer walked out in the open to get that shot. The pilot in question would have to collaborate that, but I think that's what happened. He went for the kill, got what do they say, tunnel visioned, and then wasn't paying attention to literally the 6 mechs over here looking at him.
that Mad Cat had taken significant damage though, but it managed to keep itself alive. So well played for Clan Crossfire. That about wraps it up here for us, I do believe. So 3 matches down so far today. We've got one more match coming up in under 2 hours from the time that you see this VOD. It's going to be about an hour 45, let's say. So the scheduled start time is going to be at, let's put that into UTC, 0100 UTC, October 8th. So for those of us who are operating in North America Eastern Time, we're talking about 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it's going to be Mech Enjoyers versus Hunters of the Fjordlands, FJORD. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you to the various experts who have joined us for casting here today. I didn't catch everyone necessarily, but thank you for joining us. It's been Therax and Level running the streams and trying to drive the bus here a little bit and keep the teams on schedule, which we have managed to do with their assistance of not playing five drops. So
yeah,
I'm going to sign off here.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you big shout out to our expert panel for helping us give us insight from their vast comp experience. Been a pleasure. Juice, Ghosty, Dyer, Jay. Bacon? Wasn't there Bacon too?
I don't think Bacon was here, but there was one other. Who was it? I mean, I haven't necessarily been catching all of the names, but thank you to everyone who joined us.
Yeah. As he already said, under 2 hours, we got the last match of the evening. Also, I'm gonna do the little plug-in for the CompQ event. DPS is hosting the Steal DQ thing for rewards teams who need to still get their 60 drops and don't have the pilots or didn't have enough pilots to get them all. There'll be plenty of people who will be willing to, to swap teams and stuff now that roster is unlocked to help fill in for teams who need it to get their 60 matches, and hopefully with that much intermingling between teams, things are more interesting and more even. So that's happening in an hour.
Yeah, CompQ's still open for another 2-3 weeks. So if you are not on a comp team, there's still time. The rosters are unlocked. You can form a team. You can look on the MWO comp Discord to find a team, and hoping that get as many teams as possible playing comp, getting their matches, getting their rewards, and having a good time. That's it for us. I'm going to be rolling out here, and thank you viewers for joining us, supporting MechWarrior Online Competitive and these teams.
Yeah, it was great fun. I'll see you in 2 hours.
Yes.